everyone, I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. In the tradition of community-based budgeting, Mayor Eric Garcetti recently launched the city's first participatory budget known as LA Repair, the Los Angeles Reforms for Equity and Public Acknowledgement of Institutional Racism. This program targets 9 neighborhoods called repair zones and tasks each one with deciding how tax dollars will be spent in that community. Take a look.
Participatory budgeting is a movement that started in Porto Alegre, Brazil, and has spread across the globe. It's really a process that community members use to make direct decisions about tax dollars or public funds.
This program is a pilot for the city of Los Angeles, but this work has been done all over the world. And when they allowed the communities to select projects, we're talking about air conditioning for schools in New York, looking for work with civic engagement for our kids. So I'm not telling you what our communities will decide, but I'm telling you we're going to have this work designed, prepared, and lifted by communities.
Los Angeles has had a bit of a tradition of community-based budgeting. Neighborhood councils that get their budget every single year, 99 neighborhood councils, $50,000, $40,000 a year that they give out. But this is an even bolder model to say, let's go to everyday people who might not be part of a neighborhood council, never been to a meeting at City Hall. And if you have good ideas for your neighborhood, take them to a local organization, get them on a ballot, and vote on the best ideas for your neighborhood. It's literally putting people's money back in their own hands.
In the city of LA, this is incredibly exciting because it's not just participatory budgeting, it's participatory budgeting that centers equity and repair in specific. And so it's a major opportunity for folks that have been impacted by systems of harm and violence to make direct decisions around how money should be invested so that they can thrive right here in Los Angeles.
You should know that the LA Civil Rights Department will be able to have community-based organizations do this work for the community, but it's created for and by the residents of the city of Los Angeles. What we're asking for now is for people to help us with participatory budgeting by actually participating on how this process should be designed, where the money should be spent, and how their communities can be served.
You get people involved, one, by getting them curious, by inviting them to design the process. When we talk about designing with, that means that community members can actually write the rules that govern the process around engagement, around where outreach needs to happen, and around the resources to make sure that real people are able to show up.
The LA Repair Participatory Budgeting Program will be run by the LA Civil Rights Department with an expected budget of $8.5 million. It seems like Southern California is perpetually in a drought, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like we will see the end for a while. Local governments are tightening their belts with a new round of outdoor watering restrictions. Mayor Eric Garcetti pulled together experts to provide tips on how to protect one of our greatest assets: our trees.
So we all know we're living in a drought, and that stresses a lot of people out. I say, don't be stressed, just be smart. We don't want to see our trees die as we're reducing watering. Here we are, at the Audubon Center. They barely water here, and look how lush, look how green, look how beautiful it is. So the drought doesn't have to be stressful. It just has to be something that gets us a lot smarter.
While we really need to conserve water with the drought that we're experiencing, it's really important to keep our trees alive. The first priority is giving your tree some water over the summer months. You're going to want to check on your tree and give it a supplemental deep soak, not just going out and putting the hose for a couple minutes, but giving it a significant amount of water about once a month over the summer months. Again, if you're in a hotter part of town, or if you have sandier soil where it drains more quickly, you may need to do it twice a month, but that's why you're going to want to pay attention to how your tree's looking over time.
Our trees are really important, not only to the look of our neighborhoods and our communities, but keeping us cool in the summer months, especially as temperatures are getting hotter. So let's conserve water, let's reduce our usage, let's be smart, and let's take care of our trees.
We don't live in a desert, we live in a semi-arid desert, which means that we do have lots of great trees, natural trees, drought-tolerant trees from other parts of the world. And think about it, if you're a senior citizen or a student waiting at a bus stop, a tree with a little bit of shade is the difference between whether or not you can get to the store or whether you're in the mood to do your homework. But when you think about all of the water that we have that often gets just washed out to the ocean, when it gets put back in the ground by a tree, that means there's more water in the future for us to draw from. These things help us in the immediate term, but it also ensures that we won't have a city that becomes a desert.
Climate change is happening rapidly here, and with that comes behavior change.
These trees, which clean our air, retain our water, give us shade that we need to bring down the temperature, will be a continuing part of our urban landscape.
A shortage of affordable housing is an ongoing issue in Los Angeles, and that quandary extends to the unsheltered population and interim housing strategies. Controller Ron Galperin has identified one solution to LA's biggest problem, and it involves properties that the city already owns. Take a look.
One of the crucial issues that we have taken on is really the existentialist crisis of our time, particularly in Los Angeles, and that is relating to homelessness and housing. I had a report recently about 26 specific properties that I believe can be used to create interim housing strategies, and this is one of them.
One of the methodologies that can be used is the tiny homes that you see behind me. These tiny homes, we took it apart and set it up this morning, all in about a matter of 30 minutes. And so you have a huge property behind us here that could provide housing for 400 of these tiny homes. There would be 800 people could live in a property just the size behind us.
This is 400,000 square feet. To couple that with supportive services, with trailers for showers, for bathrooms, for laundry, so that people can feel like human beings, so that people can help revive themselves, so that we can help get people on a good track again. And we have an obligation as a society to do it, and we own these properties already. Let's put them to use.
Each city council member has that opportunity to come up with initiatives and create funding motions and push it through the city council so that we can have emergency, crisis, interim, transitional housing. And it's just so important because the longer people stay on the streets, the worse they get. The worse their mental health gets, the worse their physical health gets. And human beings weren't created to live unsheltered on the streets of an urban city. We need to bring people inside, and once we do, we have found we can stabilize them, and then we can begin to address those underlying issues that either led to their homelessness or are preventing them from being housed.
We've had enough of talking, we've had enough of studying, we've had enough of debating. Let's actually do something. And there's now a settlement that actually obligates the city to create a lot more beds for those who are experiencing homelessness. One of the best ways I believe that we can do that is to use properties that we already own and that are vacant. Let's do something with it. Let's save lives today.
While Controller Galperin is eyeing 26 city-owned properties, Council District 1 has its own new interim housing location just on the horizon. Stay tuned for that story later in the program. Council District 1 and the city's Bureau of Engineering broke ground on new interim housing on North San Fernando Road. The New Beginnings site is the first to use a pre-manufactured residential prototype that can be stitched together to form duplexes and fourplexes. Check this out.
So today we're here to celebrate the groundbreaking for a new project within CD1. This is called New Beginnings. It's a tremendous utilization of what has been vacant space to create interim housing shelter for our unhoused neighbors here in Council District 1.
What's exciting about this, 130 people that were formerly homeless here in the fall of 2022 will be able to move off the streets and into housing. And it just is special because these new units here can actually hold up to 4 people. And they have restrooms, they have a kitchenette, bedroom, a living room, and then there's laundry facilities. If you have a pet, you can bring it on site. and we're just so happy to provide this to this community in need.
Our on-site service provider will be JWCH, John Wesley Health Centers, and they will be able to provide a federally qualified health center approach to people who are currently living here. So they'll have dental services, primary care, as well as behavioral health and general case management services.
Well, we're going to provide whatever it takes to help a person achieve health and healing, as well as help people complete their housing applications and help with their placement into more longer-term facilities that are suited to their needs.
We have, last count, showed over 60,000 individuals across the county who are unhoused, and we need to do everything within our power to assist them. The goal is permanent housing for all of them. This is a way station on that path, but we absolutely need a significant investment in affordable housing in order to end this crisis.
We've got more tree care tips for the upcoming watering restrictions. Council District 1 gets a much-needed traffic signal, and a 3D tour of the 6th Street Viaduct is now available online. These stories up next on City Beat.
The Department of Public Works has provided a few simple guidelines to keeping our trees healthy. Unless you have a specific safety concern, try to delay pruning your trees, especially during the hot, dry summer months. Remember, it's important to keep an eye on trees that are used to receiving additional watering through runoff from lawns and other landscaping. Next, slow soak mature trees once a month and do not add fertilizer to expedite growth. Instead of fertilizer, use mulch under your trees. Trees are a valuable long-term investment in LA's communities and infrastructure, so protecting them during the watering restrictions period is critical. For more information on water conservation methods, please visit dpw.lacity.org. The Office of Council District 1 is celebrating the completion of traffic improvements in Rampart Village.
This is a huge milestone to the community. Now they have a safer way to cross the street, especially on Virgil, because it's actually a really busy intersection. So adding this full signal here is an amazing addition to the community.
The district office is joined by the Department of Transportation in lauding the much-needed upgrades at West 5th Street and South Virgil Avenue. The changes to the intersection include new high-visibility crosswalks and a new traffic signal. In a historically problematic intersection, the improvements now in place will offer new safety measures for the community. A preview of the new and improved 6th Street Viaduct is now available through a virtual self-guided tour. This 3D tour explores the unique features and state-of-the-art engineering employed during what is being hailed as the largest bridge project in the history of Los Angeles. The new 6th Street Viaduct replaces the original bridge that was built in 1932. Among the key improvements has been making the structure seismic compliant. The opening of the reimagined 6th Street Viaduct is expected to happen this summer. To take your own 3D virtual tour of this innovative structure, visit 6thstreetviaduct.org.
Councilmember John Lee, along with LA's police and fire departments, recently rallied in Council District 12 for a time-honored tradition hosted by St. Baldricks Foundation. The 22nd annual LAFD and LAPD head shaving fundraiser sends all proceeds towards the fight against childhood cancer. Check out these generous souls going above and beyond to protect and serve.
We're at the St. Baldricks event. This is an event that we've been holding here in the city for over 20 years where LAPD and LAFD come together to raise money for cancer research. And so right behind me you see a stage back there. We're going to be shaving heads of some officers and some firefighters who have gone out to the community and told them what they're doing and have raised over $25,000.
We've had a number of firefighters that throughout the last year have been soliciting donations to shave their head. And today is really the culmination of that effort. And so today they'll be up there shaving their heads. That money, as soon as their head is shaved, that money will then be donated to the St. Baldricks Foundation.
I'm really proud of the work of LAPD joining with LA Fire to bring awareness to this issue, but also to raise important monies that can help that research and help move us along to save lives and make a difference in so many children's lives and their families. Our brothers and sisters in the fire department join with us in so many important engagements in protecting the people of Los Angeles, and this is yet another partnership, a move by their generosity, by their humility, and by their commitment to really be a partner with us in helping save lives and help again make a difference in our community.
This is absolutely nothing compared to what these kids go through, and so I felt it's the least I could do to help, and it feels great. The fire chief, as you saw, shaved it. Either way, I was planning on doing it, so I'm glad to have done it. I feel great.
This event we haven't been able to have for the last 2 years because of COVID, so this is not only our first time back, but also I love having it in my district, and I appreciate that they chose Council District 12 to have it here.
The LA Youth Development Department and the LA Unified School District are teaming up to help the city's young adults find summer employment. The job fair event offered interviews and job opportunities for young Angelenos ages 18 to 24. Here's that story.
So what's happening here is a great thing for the kids of Los Angeles. Today we're here having an awesome job fair that the City of Los Angeles, through the Youth Development Department, working with LA Unified, put on this job fair so that all these young people, 18 to 24-year-olds throughout Los Angeles can come and get some good jobs. The City of Los Angeles and dozens of nonprofits are partnering to make sure we have summer camps going in every single low-income neighborhood throughout Los Angeles. So if you're a kid in LA who wants to go have a great program this summer, you can go to a summer camp. But guess what? If we're having summer camps for all kids in LA, what do we need? We need camp counselors. So if you love our kids and want to go work with them and mentor them and help them find a lot of joy and a lot of excitement this summer, let's come. We got a job for you, and that's what this job fair is. It's a lot of fun.
We believe that every young person in the city of Los Angeles should have access to free and low-cost opportunities while they're on vacation during the summertime. We have hundreds of youth-serving organizations throughout the city that provide all kinds of great programs where you could have a summer job, you could go and recreate, play sports, or you can learn.
I'm really interested in giving back to my community and civic engagement, and all of these seem really focused on that. So I think it does make it easier. It's very focused, it's very helpful. And I just got an interview. I just finished it up and it went really well. So I hopefully can, work as an after-school programmer with the company I just interviewed with.
I think this helps very much to start like your first job, because it gives you enough experience helping others, kids, because I want to save a little bit of money for if I want to enter any college or university. I want to save a little bit of money, and it will do good for the future.
Siento que esta es una buena oportunidad para todos y que ojalá más personas se enteraran de esta oportunidad que tienen, porque es algo muy importante para ellos y les va a ayudar a crecer también.
This is the first time that the city and the school district and all these nonprofits have come together. Historically, there may be some programs in this neighborhood or that neighborhood run by one organization, but really coming out of the pandemic, knowing how much our kids lost, the city and the school district and the nonprofits said, let's come together and let's actually make sure that in every single low-income neighborhood throughout Los Angeles, every child can go to a free, exciting, enriching summer program. That hasn't happened before, and this hasn't happened before. We said, let's all collaborate and partner on getting as many folks hired to work these programs and run these programs as possible. So it's a special time for Los Angeles, a special time for our kids, and it's something that's really inspiring.
The Hospitality Training Academy in Council District 10 offers training and job opportunities to Angelenos that want careers in professional kitchens. The Academy's 8-week training program recently held a community buffet to show off their culinary skills. Take a look.
Today is our community buffet, where we invite in our partners, we invite people from the community in general, anybody who gets involved with our programs to come and see what our students are doing. This is our Chef de Partie line cook program. It's a culinary program, runs for 8 weeks, where we take people generally who have never worked in the business before and train them very, very quickly and very intensively to work in a professional kitchen. And then we place them in excellent jobs. So it's a way for somebody to really step into a career and support their family well, and it's life-changing.
All my life, I like to cook. And when I found myself out of work, this was the perfect opportunity for me to actually put in what I love to do to use. Not only do they show you how to prepare meals, but they give you a lot of other good experiences and they help you find jobs. You know, that is the biggest thing for most of us right now. Out of work and don't know what to do. But if you can actually do something that you love and get paid for it and get free training for it, it's a win-win for everybody. So it's just a great opportunity and you would be crazy to pass it up.
I actually found out about HTA on the radio. I heard an interview on NPR of a former student. So I had just come to America and he was an immigrant as well. So when I heard that the program and that he started an actual culinary career, that spoke to me a lot because it's exactly the same position I was in. So I thought it was a good chance to get my skills up, to get formal training, and be more hireable. So when I first came in, I was a little bit apprehensive. Can I cut it? Can I do it? Chefs are gonna yell at me. Can I handle it? But when I finish, I feel like I just walk anywhere into any kitchen. I can just pick up the menu, I can pick up the recipe. So it's been super easy actually. I feel super confident.
The program, HTA, is growing very quickly. Great success, and we're getting a lot of people employed. The employers are begging for our people. They love them so much. I'm out here talking to people right now, and the employers are telling us how much they love our students and that they're the best employers they have. So it's really very exciting to see this and to see the support from the community. We've been doing this now for about 7 years, and it's becoming more and more robust as we go.
These days, it's hard to imagine any organization having too much money for any event. But once upon a time, back in 1984, the LA Olympics raised far more money than it anticipated. The surplus funds became an endowment now known as the LA84 Foundation. In our feature story this week, Maria Holbrown sits down with Sandra Martinez, the foundation's vice president and chief of staff. She explains the mission of LA84 and how it has expanded youth sports opportunities across Southern California.
Renowned college basketball coach John Wooden said, "Sports do not build character, they reveal it." Well, I'm sure our guest today actually agrees with that statement. I'm delighted to be joined by Sandra Martinez. She is the Vice President and Chief of Staff here at LA84 Foundation. LA84 Foundation was actually established after the 1984 Olympics.
Yeah.
So, in essence, what is it?
It's a private foundation that was established with the resources that came from the Olympics. The 1984 Olympics was kind of groundbreaking in that there was so much money that was raised that there was some leftovers, and so that was put into an endowed fund to really support the involvement of youth in Los Angeles to get engaged in sport and play.
I'm old enough to think that 1984 was like a minute and a half ago. But, you know, for a foundation, that's a pretty substantive amount of time.
Yeah.
And the starter funds, I'm sure, were pretty profound to begin with. But how do you guys sustain it? Because, you know, you give out some really remarkable grants.
Yeah, well, we have an endowed fund that obviously that we dip into and support on an annual basis. And we've also had the benefit of corporate sponsors and corporate donors, as well as other donors who are really interested in supporting, you know, play and allowing young people to engage in sport.
What has LA84 witnessed that validates all of this focus on sport and play?
Well, there's now a lot of data that is emerging around the important role that sport and play plays in people's lives in terms of their own ability to be successful, because you learn kind of basic skills in a team situation. You learn how to work with others, you learn how to negotiate, you learn how to win, and you learn how to lose, all things that you need to kind of have in life. And so there is data that says if you do this with kids, you will end up having better students, better outcomes, things like that. There's also data that suggests that folks who have been involved in sport make better employees because they've learned kind of regimens and routines, and those are all things that you need in a workplace.
Enjoy a children's art garden workshop in San Pedro. Check out the queer art show Julio Salgado or watch Wildlife Wendy's Tropical Birds show in person. All this up next on Things to Do.
Angels Gate Cultural Center and Feed and Be Fed are partnering on a summer art workshop series. Join the Angels Gate artist teacher in creating art inspired by the outdoors. Create art using the garden as your inspiration through the exploration of a variety of artistic mediums. This free garden arts workshop is designed for children ages 5 to 12. This workshop will take place outdoors in the Garden Church, 429 West 6th Street, San Pedro. The event kicks off at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, June 11th. For more information, visit angelsgateart.org or check out their listing on Eventbrite. Celebration of LGBTQIA Pride Month is well underway at the Silver Lake Branch Library. On June 9th, enjoy the queer art show Julio Salgado. Presented via Zoom, Salgado takes viewers on a visual journey of his works and career. Salgado is the migrant storytelling manager for the Center for Cultural Power, an artist organization, and the co-founder of the media platform Dreamers Adrift. Enjoy great stories and great artwork by Julio Salgado, recounting his parallel journey of acceptance as a gay man and an undocumented person. The Zoom happens Thursday, June 9th from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Advanced registration for this event is recommended. For more information, visit lapl.org/events. The John C. Fremont branch invites you to check out Wildlife Wendy's Tropical Birds. Wendy's performing parrots will amaze and enlighten with natural and trained behaviors. The 45-minute family program includes trick performing, free flight, talking, and singing birds. Wendy, a professional animal trainer, encourages audience participation as she entertains and educates the audience about parrots. Wildlife Wendy's Tropical Birds Show comes to the John C. Fremont Branch Library on Saturday, June 11th from 10:30 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. For more information, visit lapl.org/events. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.